Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and we are back at City of Heroes on the Everlasting private server run by the Homecoming team. And our character, Silver Phoenix, is in King's Row, where we were doing some missions. And so I'm going to go right back to where we started, and I'm going to pick up where we left off. Actually, this isn't where we left off, excuse me. So I started recording, and I actually did a little bit of exploring and was trying to show how the attack cycle is going to work now and so forth. And then there was a map disconnect, and they had to reboot the servers. So we're near our mission door. There's actually another little superhero here named Seaman Demon, and he's kind of cool looking with wings and all. And this is our mission. So we got two missions here. One is to defeat some Lost. He need to defeat 9 Lost, and the other is to pay Toothbreaker Jones a visit. Remember, Toothbreaker Jones is the guy who's helping the Skulls sell Superadine on the streets, and we're supposed to stop him. So I'm going to just go ahead and go in this private mission here, and we will see if I can show you guys how the attack chain is going to work now once we're inside. So the idea of an attack chain, hang on, let's get past these guys. They are all trying to run out. So they are panicking because Toothbreaker's guys are in here, and they're trying to, I guess, hand out the Superadine. The NPC comment here is, I'm fiending so bad, so fiending must be what you feel when you need Superadine. Oh man, it's Silver Phoenix, I'm out of here. So these are citizens who realize that these guys are lining up to get the drugs. They're not supposed to be doing this. Now they know that there's a superhero in town. They're running for it. So anyway, the idea of a closed attack chain is, if you see these powers here, these 3 are our main martial arts powers. Then we have, of course, the great power, which is Brawl, and is a really weak attack that you don't want to keep using in higher levels. And then our throwing knives, which are a ranged attack that's just given to everybody, and we're going to get rid of that eventually as well, because we're not a ranged character, we're a melee character. So the idea of a closed attack chain is that you're going to click on each attack, and you click on one, then you click on the other, then you click on the other, and by the time you're done with, say, your 4 attacks, the first one's already recycled, and you can just endlessly go through the chain as many times as you want, and you never have to stop to wait for your powers to recycle the way I was having to do before. Now, we're not going to be quite there, because we just got Crane Kick, and none of these powers have a recharge enhancer on them to speed them up. And so we're going to need that eventually to get a closed attack chain. But once we have these powers slotted with 5 or 6 slots, and we have a recharge enhancer on every single one, and they're single origin, this will be pretty much a closed attack chain. You can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as much as you want. We'll have a couple of extra powers like Eagle's Claw and Dragon's Tail in here that we can throw into the chain, and basically with those 5 powers we can endlessly cycle martial arts attacks, and we never have to use Brawl or stop to wait. So I'm not going to be able to show you that, obviously, because we're not at that level yet, but I'll show you a little bit of how this works. And I also want to show Crane Kick, which is an awesome power. So 1, 2, 3, and by the time it's done, this is pretty much recharged, and we can go ahead and attack this guy. Now the problem is that Crane Kick is too slow and it's not ready, so we don't have a completely closed attack chain yet, and we're going to still have to put in some Brawl. But we're getting there, and if you remember what it was like with just Thunder Kick, you'll see that we have a much better attack chain now. Alright, so these guys are all fleeing, right? And now the Skulls come out to see what's going on. And, well, what's going on is you guys are getting your butts kicked. I am here to stop this and find good old Toothbreaker. And this should finish him. There we go. So you notice I only threw in a couple of Brawls there. Got some more salvage. I only threw a couple of Brawls there, and otherwise I was able to mostly use martial arts attacks. Right, so now we have to use Brawl, but then these other powers are going to come back right away, and 1, 2, And so we're using a lot less brawl and a lot more martial arts. And the idea is eventually we're going to be using only martial arts. But we're going to need probably one more attack and some recharge enhancers to do that. And then you will not see brawl on my on this attack bar at all. I will take it off. We really haven't needed to use this throwing knife attack anymore either. The other thing I want to point out about Crane Kick is it does a really nice knockback. Which, you know, if you do it at the end it doesn't matter, but if you do it at the beginning, like this, right, it can work as a soft control. You hit that guy, then you turn around, beat up other people, and by the time this guy stands up and comes back to you, you've defeated one or two other guys, and so you can use it as a soft control, which is quite nice. If you don't want to have to chase them, you can always knock them back into the wall, and then they're right there, and you just keep fighting them. And that's the end of that guy, or girl. Alright, so we need to find Toothbreaker. And we're back in... So there's this funny office. It's just these office buildings. I mean, they look pretty good when you're just fighting like this. It looks fine. But if you look at the map and you think about the way they're arranged, it's basically an office of just hallways, which is really funny. There's the hallway to room ratio in these office buildings is just not at all realistic. And somebody said, and if you've never seen any paintings by him, you should Google him. Somebody said this seems like an M.C. Escher painting. Like it was designed by M.C. Escher, and it really does. Alright, so these guys are white cons. Now I said before, 1, 2, 3 should take somebody out, and you can see it does. Now in the higher levels, you're going to need to put enhancements on those powers, but at this level, below 10, those 3 attacks can take out a single white con. Right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we missed. Oh well. Okay. So yeah, this is an office that's been trashed. Obviously by... when my guess is it just was a rundown place and the skulls probably didn't trash it, although I'm sure they didn't do it any favors. 1, 2, 3, like that. My guess is the skulls just took it over because it was abandoned. See, the brawl does only like 6 damage. Thunder Kick is doing 15 now. And let's see if we can do 1, 2, 3. Done. So yeah, we can now 3-shot white cons, assuming we don't miss. And these guys must have been guys who were here to get the Superadine. And now we've got some blue cons, so these will be even easier to do. That was probably excessive using Crane Kick on that guy, but I love using Crane Kick. 1, 2, 3. I just love knocking him back. Man, I have missed this power. And just martial arts in general. I just love how solid the attacks feel. It just feels like you're doing so much damage with these attacks. It's just sort of the pow. When you hit, they make so much noise, and it just feels so solid when you connect. I just love it. Getting a lot of salvage and enhancements now. Now this is a lieutenant, so she will not go down in 3 hits, because they have a lot more hit points. But you're also more likely to crit them, which I just did. I'm going to go ahead and use this heal. I don't need it, but I want to empty the slots so I can get more inspirations and maybe get something more useful than a heal, because we already have two. As you probably know if you've been listening to me, what I'd really like is luck. That's my favorite inspiration. Okay, and then we have 3 more guys. And so what's happening now, I mean, we still need to put accuracy enhancements on this, but we're starting to just put out so much more damage now. We have this extra attack in our chain. We can now always attack with something, if not the martial arts, then with one of these other gray inherent powers, we can always make an attack. Which means we're never going to stop, right? I mean, this is what you do with a scrapper, is you just keep going and you never stop. And in fact, that's where this phrase that my name is based on, Scrapper Lock, comes from. Scrappers just go from target to target. Usually when you're playing a scrapper, you just go from target to target and you just beat things up. And you have enough defense that you don't really need to worry about it. In fact, I've turned my toggles off, so we need to turn them on. You have enough defense that you don't really need to worry about it. Their incoming damage is not going to take you out. At this point, you know, it would have to be some, like, orange cons or something that would go after us to take us out. And so, as a scrapper player, you tend to get into this zone where you're just attacking, and sometimes attacking foolishly, right? Attacking with no fear, because screw this boss, I'm just going to go in and attack him, right? And doing that without regard to safety, without regard to anything, and just attacking because you're a scrapper and that's what you do, that's called Scrapper Lock. That's what we mean by Scrapper Lock. So what you're watching me do here, this is Scrapper Lock. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care how many minions there are. I don't care about anything else. I'm just going to kick these guys' butts. Now, I do want to point out that with both toggles running, notice, and with Crane Kick, we are now starting to drain endurance. Right? Our endurance is all the way down to here. And that's why you got to watch out with the toggles. And so, we've defeated all the villains. It says mission complete, but I still hear a glowy. So let's see. Oh, and we got somebody up here. Yeah, so Crane Kick uses a lot more endurance. And I'll take a look at that in a sec. Let's just finish these guys up and I'll show you the difference between Crane Kick and the other attacks. We looked at the damage, but let's look at the endurance. So let's go here, Manage, and we're going to do detailed information. Thunder Kick uses 4 endurance every time you use it. Storm Kick uses 7. Crane Kick uses 10. Right, so if we go 1, 2, 3, like I've been doing, you just use 21 endurance. You only have 100. So if you do that 5 times really fast, you're going to be really down on endurance. So that's why you need to slot endurance reducers in your powers to try and make them cost a little less endurance. And eventually we're going to need endurance reducer in probably everything. And let's see, we can add some damage. This will go to +8 to 7 plus, which is 8. This one we can make 5 plus, which is 7. Okay, so that's a little better. Okay. And if you're wondering, there's a trainer there for endurance recovery, which you can put on stamina, but it's just not worth slotting a training enhancement in there. Alright, so we got a clue. So we're on a story arc here where we're looking at the Superadine Ring run by the Skulls. And we were fighting Toothbreaker Jones, and he finally talked. And so he laughs at us between gasps of breath, and eventually his taunting gets the best of him, and he tips the Skull's hand a little too much. Turns out his Superadine Den isn't the only one in King's Row. In addition, many are about to spring up with a new Superadine shipment that's supposed to be coming into town real soon. You press him, but Jones doesn't know any more than that. And we also got, as our clue, his jar of broken teeth, so he keeps broken teeth in a jar, which is why he got his name. What a sicko. Alright, So we're going to leave the mission back to King's Row. Oh, and now we've gotten a badge. We have been given the Excelsior badge for the 15th anniversary of City of Heroes. So everybody who plays this month, I think between now and the end of May, is going to get this Excelsior badge. Okay, let's talk to our contact. This is Shauna Stockwell. We call her up, and we get another clue. And she says, wow, that's going to make one amazing story. Silver Phoenix takes down the Superadine Den and busts the leader, saving innocent innocents from the skulls. Unfortunately, Jones is just one of several pushes out there. Taking him down put a dent in the skull's profit margin, but I have a feeling that now that you've pushed the skulls, they're going to push you back. And so we have some available missions, and part 2 of this story arc is push comes to shove. You mentioned that Jones was talking to someone on the phone about a shipment. I've heard about the skulls, expecting a big shipment from one of my sources. I'm going to talk to her, see if I can get more details. In the meantime, Genevieve called and says she's got some information about where some of the Superadine dens can be found. So we need to go back to Genevieve. So if you open our mission, select task, but actually what I'm going to do is select this task. We're here in the southern part of King's Row, and we're a high enough level now. We're about to hit level 9. So I think it's time to hunt the Lost and see if we can find a couple. They usually seem to hang out down here. So let's see if we can find a few. And with Crane Kick, I would not be afraid to fight some oranges and stuff now. Yeah, this should be no problem. I'm going to turn this on. Go ahead and use this and start with this guy. We should be able to take him out in 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. Well, it's going to take 4 because I missed the first one. Alright, we don't want that, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. But notice, look how much faster we took down this lieutenant who's orange to us. Alright, we leveled up. We're level 9 now. And let's go ahead and use all these buffs that really boost us up. See if we can find some Lost that we can smack around. Here's another one. These guys are aggro, so we'll go ahead and finish them off. These guys are going down in 2 hits because we have our buffs going. Alright, there's some more Lost. Look at this guy pushing a box in a shopping crate. Okay, we got 3 guys. 1, 2, 3. I just love making them go flying. One of my favorite things to do, even though it kind of wastes the knockback, is I love just using the Crane Kick as a finisher. So you when they're ready to be knocked out, you just hit them one time and they go flying and go unconscious. I just absolutely love that. Here's more Lost. 1, 2, 3. So look at that. At this point, he didn't even get one swing off at us, and we finished him. Now, he was blue to us, but that's the power of Crane Kick, because the knockback basically soft-controlled him so that he couldn't get an attack off on us. There's another Lost being beat up on by the skulls. This is really weird. I really feel like when I save this guy from the skulls, he should thank me and run away or something, not just sit there and wait for me to beat him up. It's really kind of weird and doesn't feel very heroic. That's, you know, the game makes you feel heroic so much, but I would argue that this is a swing and a miss. It just doesn't make me feel heroic, it makes me feel guilty. These guys are Lost, fighting a skull. Okay. This will complete this quest. Finish her off. Now this one. We don't need that accuracy, so we'll go ahead and use that. And then finally. Yeah, so you can't always run the cycle as 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you got to bounce back and forth. But we got our loss taken care of, so we can call Vic. And he says thanks. And the only mission he's got left is the security chief in Paris Park, which I really don't want to do right now. So let's go ahead and do our next mission. Oh, and why don't I want to do the security chief in Paris Park? It's because it's a hazard zone. You got to be in a group, and I'm really not trying to do hazard zone missions right now. I would like to do these sort of story arcs and everything first. Paris Park is not part of a story arc. So we got to talk to Genevieve, and then we need to level up. She's sort of on the way to the police department, so we'll go ahead and talk to her first. At the medical center, there's Genevieve, and she gives us a clue. She says, my patients have been coming in from all over Kings Row, and their stories of where they got their Superadine is almost never the same. The police are certain that the skulls are just moving the dealer around, but I think it's a combination of that and a number of different pushers setting up shop. One of my patients was at one of the drug dens today, and he gave me the address. So she hands me a slip of paper with the address written down. She says she already told the police, but she doubts they're going to get there in time. So she wants me to start shutting down this drug ring, and now the drug ring is over here. So before we go over there, we're going to go to Blue Steel, who is the head of the police department. And there's the bank, by the way. So this is, you can tell, like, this used to be a nice area, and then it kind of went to seed. Okay. So now we're back at the plaza, Freedom Plaza, and we're going to go to Blue Steel and level up. So now we're going to be level 9, and we get 2 new enhancement slots. So I'm going to put one on Crane Kick and one on Focus Fighting. So we're only going to need one more slot here. So at level 11 we're going to finish this off, and probably one of these guys, add a slot to one of these guys. And now this accuracy enhancement is no good anymore. It's too far below. So when we go to the enhancement screen, I'm going to go in here, and we don't have any accuracies to add to it, so we're just going to take it out. You grab it and drag it and just drop it there and delete it. And the same thing with this brawl enhancement. It's not doing any good because it's too low. So you outlevel these enhancements pretty quickly, especially at this level. So you've always got to try to slot in new ones. Some people buy in training enhancements. I don't bother with that. I do want to point out we are really going up there in influence now. So if we look, we now have 9,000 XP, but 16,000 influence. If you remember right, back when we had about 2,000 experience, we had about 2,000 influence. And now we've actually started to really exceed the amount of experience by how much influence we have. We still need a lot, but 16,000 is starting to be respectable. Okay. So now we do our next mission, which is the Superadine Ring. I'm getting a little bit of rubber banding. Just putting the... what did I just run into? Those are Bosch locks, okay. I'm being a little bit less cautious and a little bit more just sort of... I was trying to jump on top of that, but oh well. I'm just sort of going wherever I want now because I know that I'm nearly max level for this zone. The max level is like 11 for the mobs, so we're not going to see anything above orange other than maybe a boss. And with honestly, with Crane Kick in my rotation now, I'm not afraid of anything. Because with the knockback and the power, the damage that it does, we can pretty much take anything in this zone. Alright, so now we're going into another instance mission. This will be our last one of this session, and then we'll wrap it up for this session. So it says this place is pretty quiet. Maybe the skulls have already abandoned it. Doubt it. I'm going to take the toggle off. We probably won't need it. We'll put it on if we see like some yellows and oranges. But I'm not going to use the toggles for white cons or blue cons or anything like that. So this is either going to be a level 8 or 9 mission. I think it might be level 8 because we might have got... I can't remember if we got this mission before we leveled or not. Where are all the skulls? We got some clues. Click on the box. Nothing. Click on this. Studying the whiteboard. Nothing. So it says, look for clues as to where the skulls went. So this is interesting. I don't really remember this. I wonder if this is a newer arc. I feel like the only arc at this low of a level that was a true story arc was the Bonefire arc, which I haven't gotten yet. I would love to get that one. That was one of my favorites. Where you end up fighting a guy called Marrow Snap. And, you know, I love this map. There's usually, when there are enemies, there are usually spawns right here. And I used to love jumping up and just slamming into them with my crane kick and everything. No clues here. This is a very unusual mission for City of Heroes. Maybe this won't be our last mission of the night if we only are just looking at clues and don't fight anything. I have the feeling we're going to get ambushed on the way out. But we'll see. So there's a computer. You find a note that reads, "This is where you die." Yup, ambush. Alright, this is cool. It's a trap. This is a newer mission. This was not in at launch. Guys, why did you trap me with blue cons? These guys are stuck in the floor here. They're like in between the conveyor belt and this part of the floor. Come on. There you go. This is different music too, which is pretty neat. Defeat the ambush. Anybody else coming? There we go. Hate to tell you guys, I got crane kick now. You got no chance. We're now about a third of the way from level 9 to 10. Right, we got 3 beads. Now the one danger here, if they keep coming at you, is that you can't stop and rest. Defeat the skull's ambush. Anybody else? Oh, somebody's coming from upstairs. You can see the voice balloon. The word balloon. There they are. Oh, a Bone Daddy. Nice, a boss. I like it. This is cool. I actually like this mission a lot. I like the ambush. I mean, I kind of figured it was going to happen, but it was cool anyway. He's done. Defeat, what does it say? Mandible and Maxilla. So these are going to be bosses, I guess? I wonder if I'm going to have to fight them both at once. That'll be quite challenging. Let's see. This is cool. I do not remember this mission at all from live play. Okay. So we've got that one defeated. So the knockback doesn't always work, but it works a lot. And we're now getting the point, we gained a level. We're now just a sliver from being able to defeat them with 3 hits because our enhancements have kind of expired. So there's Maxilla, and there. Oh, we're gonna fight 2 bosses. All right, let's see if we can pull this person to get him out of the way. This minion. Just because I don't want to fight the minion while I'm fighting the 2 bosses, and then we're absolutely gonna have to turn this toggle on for the bosses. And I wish I had another luck, but we'll try one, and we'll try some extra damage. We'll see what we can do. And there's a lieutenant that's shooting at us too, which is not good. Alright, we got 1 boss. See if we can take out the other boss. This is Scrapper Lock, guys. I'm just gonna keep smacking them. Yeah, I've been very heavily debuffed here, which is not good. But I think I've got this. And we got that, and we completed the mission. And they're gonna run now, because, yep, they're running away. Oh no, our bosses were defeated. Now that was freaking cool. So each boss we took out gave us 288 experience, but 576 influence. So we got 1,000 influence just from beating the 2 bosses and over 500 experience, which is pretty cool. Have we got a new clue? Not really. So this is our Superadine Ring is the story arc, and you can see that it summarizes. It all started when you met Shauna Stockwell. She was doing investigative reporting and so forth. And so it's going through the whole story up to this point. When you're done with a story arc, oftentimes the text is like this long, because it's basically telling you the whole story of what you did, which is really cool. I love the story arcs in this game. Alright, that was an awesome mission. You got to see me fight 2 bosses at once. They were yellow con to me, so that was helpful. They were actually a level below me. That was super, super helpful. If they had both been my level, it might have been a little harder. Well, it would have been a little harder. I don't think it would have been impossible, but it would have been a good deal harder. And I'm just going to burn these things because I don't really want them. Once we get to having 5 rows, then what I normally do is 2 purples, 2 blues, 2 greens, 2 reds, 2 yellows. And then if I think I'm going to have trouble, I'll add more purples and take out the reds. Okay, so hello Genevieve. Silver Phoenix, what happens? The skulls knew you were coming, but how? Oh no, you think that No, someone in the hospital must be feeding the skulls information, but why would anyone want to help them? I'll be a lot more careful of what I tell people. Yep, I would hope you would be careful. Now we're going to call Shauna, and she gives us a clue. And the clue is, so you see how big the text is getting, right? On the payroll, after the skulls ambushed you and confronted Genevieve Sanders about it, she was shocked. She'd mentioned your involvement to a few other coworkers and concluded that word must have spread to someone at the hospital staff that is on the skulls payroll. So she's resolved to be more cautious. So now we're going to talk to Shauna, and she says, for part 3, marked for death, her name is Emily Rodriguez. According to her relative, she didn't show up for work today. I talked to Emily's cousin, and he said that he's certain the skulls kidnapped her. Says the cops won't do anything about a missing persons case for 24 hours unless there is evidence of wrongdoing, and they just don't have any evidence. I told them that you could help. So I say, where do I start looking? And she says, there's a beat cop who works the Gish named Vic Johansson. Yeah, we've met him before. He's one of our contacts. Right there. Tell him I sent you, and he'll drop everything and help you find Emily. Now, I don't know if we can call him, because I think the calling is just for his own missions, but let's see. Yeah, so we're going to actually have to go talk to him. Okay. Let's see, do we have enhancements? We have some enhancements. These are accuracy and endurance. So I want to put accuracy on here. And endurance reducer. Let's see, we can combine. There we go. And I'll just drag that over there. So, we're going to go talk to Vic, and then I will end this episode, and we'll pick this up next time. I like running on walls in this game. It's a lot of fun. Or jumping along walls is even funner. I don't know why, but I like it. Very close to 10th level. We will probably get it after the next mission. And we're ready to talk to Vic, and then we will stop. So Vic says, "Hey, not too close, okay? You hero types are all good in my book, but I don't need another reason for these skulls and gangbangers to be eyeing me for some sort of initiation, kill, or badge of honor. I got a wife and kids." So I say, "Stockwell tells me that you're the one of the good cops. Was she wrong?" And he says, "Shauna sent you? She's like a little sister to me." "Yeah, okay. I'm your man. What's the situation?" And I talk about the situation with the Superadine Ring, and he says, "That's bad, but I think I know what the Skulls are planning. Word from the street is that the Skulls have some sort of indoctrination ceremony that's going down tonight, but we've got neither the clues nor the manpower necessary to go hunting for it." So he puts a hand on his badge and traces the star. He looks down, apparently unaware of what he was doing. Then he looks back up at you, his eyes steeled. "Emily can't wait for us to get better information. My shift is about over. We'll hit the streets and find her together." And so I'm going to thank him and enter the mission, but I will do that next time. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.